Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Peggy Podcast, our 22nd episode of the Peggy Podcast. And today I am actually going to do this podcast without my good wingman, Colonel Perrin, who is TDY down at the Readiness Center fighting for resources for you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a busy 2025 already, and we've had some great drills. So under our new 033 construct, we did not have a January UTA. So our first UTA period of 2025 was in February, which was kind of funny. It actually started the 31st of January, which was new. And so looking back on the February UTA, we had a lot of things going on, really focusing on our readiness. We did a PDF for our RCP-6 deployers for about a half of them. And then we had our yellow ribbon event to make sure that we sent not only our deployers, but our families off with the proper information. And then we closed out the weekend with our redeployers coming back from the AFRIGEN cycle. So it was great to welcome them back home and really get them reintegrated with their families, reintegrated with the unit, and then get them off on some much needed rest and relaxation. So wonderful to have them home, and obviously, very good luck to our members that are going out the door this spring. Some other things that happened this month, some big changes occurred right before the UTA with the Chief of Staff releasing some new changes to standards. And so all of that information should have been disseminated and wrapped up at the unit roll calls. But if not, the biggest thing I see on base that affects us is the removal of the duty identifier patches. Those were the small patches on your left sleeve that said SEL or C2 Ops or Cyber or Maintenance are no longer authorized to wear. The only ones on base that are authorized to wear are the Recruiters tab, Base Honor Guard if you're on Title 10 orders, and any weapons system patch graduates, and any of our previous commanders that may have their commander patch there. Any other duty identifier tabs should not be authorized. There is a list that's attached to AFI 362903, so please feel free to look at that. There was also changes to what nail polishes are authorized, some clarification on male facial hair, specifically beards, and when a medical waiver is required, which is now 90 days after the closeout of a PHA. We also updated some clarification on male hail standards and as well as the gig line. So all that information should have been disseminated, and I do believe there'll be more changes coming out. When those come out, we will make sure we get them out to the forces. But if you weren't tracking those, please make sure you're tracking those moving forward. Some good news coming up. We just announced our Airmen of the Quarters for the fourth quarter, which is October through December. So our Airmen of the Quarter from the Comptroller fight was Senior Airman Christian Bortnick. Our NCO of the Quarter from the Communications flight was Staff Sergeant Adam Blake. And then our Senior NCO of the Quarter from the Operations Support Squadron was Master Sergeant Sarah LaPearl. So when you see them around, please congratulate them. And as a reminder, due to the 033, we've adjusted our timelines. So our new Airmen of the Quarter schedules are due the last month of each quarter. So the next quarter's Airmen of the Quarter packages will be due the 31st of March. As we look ahead to the March UTA, it's another busy UTA. They're all going to be busy UTAs, especially as we transitioned over to the 033. What is our priority for this one? Really, it's the rapid readiness. So our medical group has put together a schedule of events to make sure that we can see the entire unit go through their medical readiness. A schedule has been sent out to your SELs and commanders. And one thing I'd like to foot stomp, there are some people missing from that schedule. That means all of your records and your PHA has been closed out and you don't need to be seen. The goal is for the medical group to get folks through in a short amount of time and close out your medical and reset the unit and hopefully focus on our readiness as we move forward. So that's the overarching priority for the UTA weekend. On the Friday of the UTA weekend, we also have the ATAG CGO All Call at 9 o'clock in the BAP. So General Davis will be addressing all of our company grade officers and talking about a plethora of issues there. So once again, that is on the Friday, March 7th at 0900 at the BAP. The Saturday of the UTA, we have a wonderful wing event where we're going to say goodbye to our outgoing State Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Pranav Zaveri, and say hello to our incoming 14th State Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Bernard Cho, who I happen to have here as our guest today. So, Chief Cho, welcome to the podcast again.
Thanks for having me, Chief Reiter. It's a pleasure to be here, especially under these circumstances.
Absolutely. Just want to say, first of all, congratulations. Happy to have you in the new role. I know it's a big transition coming from the Maintenance Group 9G now to represent the 1,300 Airmen in this wing as you take on this new role as a State Command Chief.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had some touch points with some of the groups, and I feel an affinity to all the airmen in the wing. I feel like either through my role as a civilian in IG or previous wing events that have been planned or I participated in that I've had good exposure to everyone, but really looking forward to working with everyone in the New Hampshire National Guard.
Absolutely. We've worked closely for a little bit over the last decade, so it's been great. I was in wing staff when you were our first sergeant, and then you transitioned back to maintenance, eventually took on that role as the 9G over there. So what are some of your goals or some of the things you're looking to do as a state command chief?
Yeah, so this is something that I thought about quite a bit. And I mean, one of the main goals is to stop the thrash. I know that sounds a little bit ironic at this time with a time of change, but really from General Davis and myself, we want to really stop the thrash and do as much as we can to project long-term what the goals are going to be from JFHQ, from the New Hampshire National Guard, what's coming down so that the wing can plan 3 or 4 years in advance. So the last-minute taskers, things of that nature, we want to try to get that under control. One of the other things that I would love to work with you, Chief Reiter, is enlisted development and just kind of creating a sustainable program that will align with what our airmen are really looking for. You know, targeting E5s, that's just my thought, but would love to see what you have to say and your team here at the wing.
Absolutely. You know, that's something our airmen constantly give us feedback on. They're looking for more ways to develop professionally. What is the best way we can maximize their professional development while still focusing on their AFSC and readiness? And I think that's something you and I are going to work closely on over the next year or so.
Absolutely, Chief. One of the other things that I really wanted to do in this position is to effectively network at councils at the regional level. I feel like the level of advocacy that I could bring to the New Hampshire National Guard, there's a lot of room for resources and things that we can bring to the base at things like the EFAC, engaging with NGB, concentrating on things outside of the fence line. That'll definitely be one of the things that I look at.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for our senior leaders to go outside of the fence and really advocate for the state of New Hampshire and for our airmen. And happy to hear that, and really looking forward to really robusting our relationship with the Enlisted Field Advisory Council, EFAC. And for those that don't know that, it's really a group led by the state command chiefs with some wing command chief involvement, and they take your concerns that you have and bring it to the next level and eventually address it to the Air National Guard command chief, who's Chief Master Sgt. Joshua Moore, who just took the seat last week. So it's a great way, another tool and avenue for us to advocate for our airmen.
And I believe the last thing, and I believe Chief Reiter and I will be aligned as well as the commanders that we work for, is really the organized, train, and equip for the primary missions that we have. Those things have not changed. Although some of the reorganization actions for the Great Power Competition have been paused for the time being, it still seems to be in the doctrine that that's where we're pivoting to, that conventional fight, talking about with our peer adversaries, as well as not everyone in the wing may be aware, but the nuclear certification that we're looking for to reassume our position supporting U.S. STRATCOM in the nuclear triad. So all the challenges that come from that, looking to try to bring outside resources as much as we can from outside of the fence line to support the wing.
Absolutely. You know, look forward to working with you over the next 3 or 4 years. You'll be in the seat longer than I am. Unfortunately, my time's coming shorter than yours, but this is a great opportunity for us to team up and make sure that we provide the proper resources, manpower, equipment to our airmen so you can do your job. So happy to have you here, Chief Cho. So excited for you to take over. So the change of authority will be on the Saturday of the UTA. That's 8 March. The wing will be in formation at 2:30 in Hangar 254. We're asking all of our members to show up at 2:15. This is in OCPs so that we can get you formed up. It's going to be a great event, targeting about 30 minutes, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to transition right into Chief Master Sgt. Zaveri's retirement. So we get to say goodbye to him after decades and decades of faithful service. So Chief Z, thank you for all you've done. I'll miss you, brother. Look forward to your next chapter in life. So we'll close out the UTA weekend. We do have another RCP chalk that our IDO team is taking through for personal processing, the PDF line. So that'll close out our PDF RCP 6 deployers as we look to that period for the next, let's say, 4 to 6 months as those folks go out the door. So, as we get people back in from the AFRIGEN, people will be leaving for the RCP as well. So definitely a lot of readiness and churn in the unit over the next year as we look to transition, like Chief Cho said, from our normal processes to back to the 81X nuclear mission as well. Some other options coming up, some other events coming up throughout the month. Really, we have our Best Warrior competition, which is happening the 5th through the 9th. We have 3 members from the wing taking part in that competition that's really led by the Army. So they go through various tests and physical tests, really ending in a very long ruck march. So if you have an opportunity to go take that out, please. They're going to finish on the 9th of March. Wonderful event, and we usually do very well in it as well. I've already touched on the rapid readiness. That is our #1 priority. If you do have any changes that you need to the schedule, please work with Chief Master Sgt. Hudson or Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Tanian, as they are the ones keeping control of that. Looking forward to the end of the month in March, we have our Spirit of Portsmouth Invitational Drill Meet. That's on the 29th of March, which is Saturday. So our recruiting team is really leading this effort. We're going to bring in some ROTCs from different high schools and do a drill competition. So if you can get involved, please do so. It's a wonderful opportunity to show the members of the community what we do on this base, and it's always great to tackle our recruiting initiatives and challenges. So there is no drill during the April UTA. So for our DSGs, after this March UTA, we will not see you until May. I do want to give you a heads up. We will be doing a base-wide May exercise. So it'll be C-Bernie type exercise, but really to focus on some of those fundamental skills that we need to make sure we continue to have. So our warrant order was sent out by our IG office. All the units know what they're tasked with. So please, when you come in during this UTA, if you're not sure what your role is, please talk to your supervision to make sure you know exactly what's expected of you. That's to reduce some of that thrash that Chief Cho talked about. We're going to do a better job of trying to communicate the requirements months in advance, so you know what's expected of you. There should be no guesswork when you come into the UTAs, and that's our job as the full-time staff in the organized, train, and equip piece. So Chief Cho, any last words before we sign off on this Peggy podcast?
No, I would just say there's a lot of things going on outside of our control. Just know that here at the wing, here in the New Hampshire National Guard, our large missions, by and large, have not changed. We're here to support our fellow Greenwich Staters in the case of any state emergencies, and we have to stay focused on being ready to deter any great power competitors that might be out there.
Absolutely. We will continue to fight, and win, and just want to say thank you for all you do. Live free or die. We'll see you at drill.